All right, so there was something I got to see O'Shea Duke Jackson put out, and he was talking about how, I guess, Fresh and Fit and Tariq Nasheed and Dr. Umar Johnson, because he's, a doctor of I think blackness or something like that. I forget. He's a doctor of something or other. But I guess they're having a little beef right now. They're having a back and forth. And it was this whole thing, and it was really very good. Give me a second. Oh, okay. There we go. That's a better hold. I got a better purchase on it now. So they were talking about what it was is that Fresh and Fit was going off about the claims of oppression by people like Umar, people like Tariq Nasheed. Now, Tariq Nasheed already was made to look like a complete, Jungle Bunny level fool. By Taylor, and and it was just sad. I mean, it was just that he would just say these crazy fucking things. He started to there was some things he had said fundamentally about the Chinese that were super bonko. Tariq Nasheed is just fundamentally not in any way, shape, or form a scholar. He's really very typical of these of black race grifters who are just kind of like bigoted meatheads that bigoted meathead whiners that and black people pay them money to whine about issues that are almost entirely stuff that's caused by the negligence of black women. I mean, just straight up. I mean, no chaser. And what it is that Fresh and Fit represent a better and new mentality. They represent they are the Def Jeff mentality or the Will Smith in his earlier days mentality. We can, or what was it? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting at the moment. Oh, I can't believe I'm forgetting the Jamaican artist, one of my favorites of all, because he made everything. Ken Booth, and was it Ken Booth who did it? You Could Get It If You Really Want. Is it Ken Booth? No. Oh well. Ken Booth, though, highly recommend. Ken Booth is the man when it comes to Jamaican music. But you can get it if you really want. And people, you must try. And now, while I don't think Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed are in any way kind of slackers, I think their mentality is the idea that the white man has superpowers, and that's how he's always managed to fool the brothers. Now, at this very moment, is Tariq Nasheed bringing anything up about stuff that, say, Kevin Samuels nailed, such as the winter, the total collapse of the economy? Kevin Samuels was ahead of that. Kevin Samuels was ahead of that by a year. Is anybody bringing that up? And then bringing up, even more importantly, what Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson can't discuss. They're talking to women who mostly vote Democratic, and these two brothers cannot discuss Well, the Democrats replaced you, homie. Didn't you see the replacements coming through? The replacements are beginning bust to all your cities. Those are your replacements. They'll vote Democrat. They won't ever think of straying from the Democratic Party. Ever. Ever. They'll never do it. They will be given those check-a-stale welfare, and they will never, ever stray. Until they're told that their sons have to take it up the ass. Now, the thing that's interesting is, am I hearing Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed talk about how pretty much the schools that black kids go to, like, are the center point of take it up the ass, here's today's kids. We'll be talking about how good little Nas X, how the blackest thing you could do, obviously, is to ride the devil's cock dressed up as a girl. There's nothing blacker than that. And all of the white liberals agree. Now, you see, he wanted to lose against Jared Taylor, and he did. He did. It was bananas. I mean, Jared Taylor just should have held up a banana. And you go, are you hungry? Is your blood sugar low? Like, you don't even make sense. And it was great. I mean, it really was, just to see Taylor just looking at him like, really? Like, and it was totally like, please, go on. And he even did that at one point. Like, Tariq Nasheed realized, like, he's like, I'm being looked at like a stupid nog by a smart white man. And so I am being a stupid nog. And so he tried to be like, oh, you got anything? And Jared Taylor was like, no, I am finding this absolutely fascinating. So there's nothing called like some kind of white advocate or white supremacist who in any way, shape, or form will ever be afraid of the power of Umar Johnson or the brain level of Tariq Nasheed. It will never happen. These are guys who have to advocate. They have to advocate. No, black people who are unqualified have to be able to get into schools, or else we'll be ruled by the Chinese. Everyone will rule us, and they know it. And this is why it's over. To me, it's just the decline is coming. Prepare for it. By the way, look into platinum. Apparently, there should be a good, solid buying opportunity for platinum coming up, according to one of my sources. The King, long live the King, and Eric, the Bomb King. Yeah, Stephen Van Meter. Yeah, long live the King. And I'm very, very slowly learning. I don't know why certain things, certain subjects, it's just a grind. I don't get it. There's just some things I'm just like, but there's other stuff that it's just like, why is this so why can't I sit and read this for hours like other stuff? I could read history for hours. Why can't I read stuff about stocks and dojis and all that? Why is this? Why do I need so much coffee for this? But I'm learning. And also I realized you got to put a little kitty together before you start you got to have a trading fund. Yeah, you got to have a little bourse before you start the little tiny penny stocks and then into something bigger. Get a triple bagger. So I'm planning on this being a project from 2024 on. Yeah, but it's just sad. It's just a lot of young black men just want even remotely normal lives. They know this can't be normal. They know the rioting, twerking hoes on top of police cars. Yeah. They know it can't. This can't be. There's got to be more to life than this. They know it. They know there's got to be more to life than this. Ooh, here's something I picked up a little. Got in the mail. Wanted to show you guys. I am going to start doing the music thing again. I just have to get I had to rearrange the whole room, then get the DJ set up right, then and then one of the pieces of equipment burnt out, the Tascam. I know, that was a beautiful 8-track. That was a beautiful fucking recorder. What did I just do to this? How are you betraying me? Why are you doing this to me? Okay, but it was rare West Coast jump and jive. The stuff from the old doo-wop period. It was good stuff too. This is amazing shit. I love stuff. I just love old black music. I just love it. At one point there was somebody recorded it all for me, burnt it all for me. But of course I met a pretty girl, so I let her borrow my copies of the complete Stax singles. So I finally had to buy it again. That was a while back, but yeah, it's this is something I was thinking about. Oh yeah, I haven't shown you guys any of the music, and I've gotten some vinyl. I've gotten some sweet vinyl. I got some sweet tunes, some good sweet tunes. So, sweet sounds coming down on the night shift. No, I bet nobody remembers that song. Sweet sounds coming down. All right, so I don't hate Tariq Nasheed. It's just that he'll say things. I'm like, this man is not that. He's just not smart. I mean, why? Who is this bigot meathead? And it just reminds me so clearly of just so many odd, just black people online who are just weird, and you're just like, what? And they'll just say something that you're just like, how don't you know? Are you feigning that you're that much of a dumb black person, or are you that dumb? And so, yeah. And it really is this thing of that Myron and them, they okay, so there's a young generation now. Remember, we've had Haitian immigrants here for quite a bit of time. They came in a while back. They're Haitian, and to the point where it's like there's literally whole crews of them that are like the Haitians in this city or that city now, and they have a different way of life. They have a different culture. And a lot of black Americans are just going to have to start facing this idea of you live in a country, most of you live in cities with people who are Hispanic, but almost none of you can speak a sentence in Spanish. You're in the workforce with these people. You're competing with these people who you can't even speak to. I mean, I just don't even understand that one. That's one I really don't get. And then these people want to say that they're just so into black culture and this, that, and the other. And again, they don't know. They don't do they listen to cumbia? Do they listen to son? Do they know that Venezuela, the blacks of Venezuela are why you have Latin American music as we do now? Do they know that? And do they care? And it's like one of the other things with then, some I was thinking with Passport Bros. A lot of people don't realize one of the things with Passport Bros is these Passport Bros might be meeting black women who don't happen to live in the United States. Nobody considers that, because nobody wants to pay attention to the fact there's black people in Peru, that there's black people in Belize, that there's black Mexicans, that nobody wants to deal with any of this. Black Americans are becoming increasingly a group that I think there's one part of, Myron and them represent, I think, the people who are going to they're going to be that next middle class. They're going to just be that next middle class mentality and he's right about, Myron was right about black people climbing out of poverty. Black people climbed out of poverty faster than almost any group in human history. Economists literally can say we can praise capitalism and really capitalism that was relatively unfettered by government regulation. That this was a period where regulation was building into the 70s and 80s, the 60s, 70s, late 60s into the 70s and 80s. The regulation was building, so this was relatively unfettered. A lot of new technologies and industries, and people don't get no, this was one of the great rises. This was a huge rise, and then Stax, Motown, soul music, reggae taking over almost like a huge portion of British music. And this idea, it's just so sad that how what Umar and Tariq Nasheed have to celebrate is this sort of defeatist end of the culture. They always they always taking out things. They do this, they do that too good. Why they do this too good? And it's just sad. It's just fucking sad. Are they getting do young people read the autobiography of Malcolm X? Do they know, Lorraine Hansberry and James Baldwin? I mean, that one I'm thinking very likely that is far more likely that they would read that than the autobiography of Malcolm X nowadays. But I mean, really, it's just this mentality of constantly they are always trying to get us, and then this thing too of because how the whites are. And because they're all the same group. Nobody ever gets what the deal was with redlining. Nobody ever really maps out in detail. It wasn't white people and then the blacks over here. No. There was all the groups of white people who were redlined. Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with we know this from All in the Family. He literally talks about every group of white immigrants who's come in that he doesn't like from Ellis Island. And then finally there's even the line, well, Archie, what are you? And he goes, I'm an American. So, yeah. And that's the thing. It's Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson don't want black men thinking they're American. And it's a part of the culture. It's never going to stop. It's some part of the culture that it's no, we're our own group, that we shouldn't be included in Americana, blah blah blah. And it's just sad. It's just sad. Because why would you celebrate doo-wop being one of the most popular forms of music that dominated music for a generation? Than soul music that then ends up being the chief. There's soul music was so influential, it then re-influenced jazz. So jazz then becomes soul. Soul re-influences jazz. And so you then have some of the most famous samples in all of history, such as Space by Galt McDermott. And if you look up Galt McDermott's work, you'll be like, whoa, this is a white man with a ton of soul. And this, and then when you look up his music, you end up oh wow, he really knew black music. A lot of there's just this people like them want black people feeling very alone. And it's just sad because it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that in the 90s. Everybody listened to De La Soul. Everybody was there. You had your Chinese friends, your Filipino friends, the Mexican kids. They all were there. We all were having a hell of a time listening to the Soul Assassins. Shit. But these guys just want this young generation to feel very alone and without power and really deracinated, fundamentally deracinated, in that they'll build up some kind of new black man. And it's always the new man. All all these collectivists, these racists, these meatheads, the commies, they always want to build up a new man. Can't look backwards at what really happened. Can't know the story of your grandfather. No, you need to listen to this preacher guy who's going to tell you who in the new order is going to be on top and be on bottom. Yeah, just be middle class. Just work toward being in the middle class and enjoy your life and have some success. That's what's going to really matter. It's really what's going to matter. Live life to its fullest, just like Jesus said, just like God as man said.